You use satellites every single day, even if you never think about them. When you check the weather, use GPS, stream a video, or send a message across the world, satellites are involved somewhere in that process. But here's the strange part. Most people don't actually know how satellites work. They're just somewhere above Earth, moving through space, somehow sending information back down. So how does that actually work? How do satellites stay up there without falling? How do they communicate across thousands of miles? And how can something so far away become such a normal part of everyday life? To understand that, we need to start with one simple idea. Satellites are not floating. They are falling. That might sound completely wrong at first, but it's actually the key to understanding orbit. A satellite stays in space because it is constantly falling toward Earth, while also moving sideways fast enough to keep missing it. Imagine throwing a ball forward. It falls and hits the ground. If you throw it faster, it travels farther before falling. Now imagine throwing it so fast that as it falls, the Earth curves away beneath it. Instead of hitting the ground, it keeps falling around the planet. That is orbit. Satellites move at incredibly high speeds, often around 28,000 kilometers per hour in low Earth orbit, and that speed keeps them circling the planet instead of crashing into it. Once in orbit, it doesn't need engines to stay there. Its speed comes from powerful rockets at launch. It simply continues moving forward, balanced perfectly between gravity, pulling it inward, and its motion carrying it around the Earth. Now, not all satellites orbit at the same height. Different orbits exist for different purposes, and choosing the right one is critical. Low Earth orbit, often called LEO, sits a few hundred to about 2,000 kilometers above Earth. Satellites in this region move very quickly and can circle the planet in about 90 minutes. Because they are closer to Earth, they can capture high-resolution images and provide faster communication signals. This is where many Earth observation satellites and newer internet constellations operate. Much higher up is geostationary orbit. At about 36,000 kilometers above Earth, a satellite can orbit at the same rate that Earth rotates. From the ground, it appears to stay in the same position in the sky. This makes it extremely useful for communication and weather monitoring, because it can continuously observe the same region. There are also medium Earth orbits, which are often used for navigation systems like GPS. These satellites sit in between, high enough to cover large areas but close enough to maintain accurate positioning. So now we know how satellites stay in orbit and where they are placed, but what are they actually doing up there? At their core, satellites are tools for collecting and transmitting information. Some act like mirrors for radio signals. A signal is sent from Earth to the satellite, and the satellite sends it back down to another location. This is how many communication systems work. That signal might carry a phone call, a television broadcast, or internet data. It travels thousands of kilometers into space and back down again in less than a second. Other satellites are focused on observation. They carry sensors designed to measure different parts of the Earth system. Weather satellites track cloud movement, temperature patterns, and atmospheric conditions. Some use visible light like a camera, while others use infrared sensors to detect heat differences. That is how meteorologists can monitor storms even at night or through thick cloud cover. This data feeds directly into forecasting models, making modern weather prediction far more accurate than it used to be. Then there are navigation satellites. Systems like GPS rely on a network of satellites constantly broadcasting precise timing signals. Your phone or GPS device receives signals from multiple satellites at once. By calculating how long each signal takes to arrive, it determines your position on Earth. This process is called trilateration, and it allows your location to be calculated within a few meters. What makes this possible is extremely accurate timing. Each GPS satellite carries an atomic clock, which keeps time with incredible precision. Even tiny errors in timing would translate into large errors in location. So accuracy at the satellite level is critical. Satellites also play a major role in science and environmental monitoring. They measure sea levels, track ice coverage, monitor deforestation, and observe changes in the atmosphere. Without satellites, it would be nearly impossible to track global changes at this scale. But satellites don't work alone. Everything they do depends on a network of systems back on Earth. Ground stations are the link between satellites and people. These stations use large antennas to send commands to satellites and receive data from them. They track satellite position, monitor system health, and update software when needed. If a satellite needs to adjust its orbit or change its operation, that command comes from the ground. In this way, satellites are not isolated machines. They are part of a continuous connection between space and Earth. Another key part of satellite design is power. In space, there are no fuel stops or maintenance crews. Satellites must operate independently for years, sometimes over a decade. Most use solar panels to generate electricity. These panels capture sunlight and convert it into power for onboard systems. When the satellite passes into Earth's shadow, it switches to battery power. This allows it to keep operating even when sunlight is temporarily blocked. Launching a satellite into space is one of the most complex parts of the process. Rockets are used to carry satellites beyond Earth's atmosphere and accelerate them to orbital speed. Reaching orbit is not just about height, it is about speed. A satellite must move fast enough sideways to stay in orbit, which requires enormous energy. Once it reaches the correct speed and position, it separates from the rocket and begins operating independently. But satellites don't last forever. Over time, their components wear out, fuel runs low, or technology becomes outdated. Some satellites are guided back into the atmosphere to burn up safely. Others remain in orbit as inactive objects. This has created a growing issue known as space debris. With thousands of satellites currently in orbit and many more planned, managing space traffic is becoming increasingly important. Collisions are rare, but even small fragments can cause serious damage due to the high speeds involved. Despite these challenges, satellites have become essential to modern life. They support communication, navigation, science, weather forecasting, and global connectivity. They allow airplanes to navigate safely, ships to cross oceans, and emergency systems to function reliably. And most of the time, they do all of this without being noticed. That is what makes satellites such a powerful example of hidden infrastructure. They are invisible to most people, yet deeply integrated into daily life. The next time you check directions, watch live news, or look at a weather forecast, it's worth thinking about what is happening behind the scenes. Signals traveling thousands of kilometers, machines orbiting the Earth at incredible speeds, a global system working together in real time, also that information can reach you instantly. That is how satellites actually work, and like many of the systems we rely on every day, the better they work, the easier they are to forget. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to Hidden Infrastructure of the World. Also, comment down below what hidden infrastructure you want to see next. See you in the next video.